The urgency almost out of control. I wasn't surprised at all. I should have expected it. I would never again be the woman I was the first time I caught them. To the hysterical wife screaming, "Ethan, have you no shame? I've been with you since I was 18. We started with nothing. And now you are telling me you are in love with someone else?" Back then, he wiped the blood from his lip, which I had caused, and sneered, "Shame. You want to talk to me about shame? You were with me since you were 18. Your birth parents didn't want you. I brought you out of the orphanage and raised you for 10 years. You should be grateful." Those words were like a poison blade tearing apart 12 years of shared struggles. The days we supported each other through hardship, building a home from nothing. My phone vibrated, pulling me back from my memories to reality. "Colonel Reed, your birth parents' personal belongings and pension documents have been verified. When would you be available to come to West Coast Command to process the claim?" I pulled down my sleeve, covering the faint, pale marks on my wrist. 10 days. My divorce will be finalized in 10 days. The voice on the other end paused. "You and General Coleman. After all these years, you could inherit the estate and honors. You wouldn't need to transfer." I looked at the base lights, blurring in the distance. "I don't love him anymore," I said. "I just want to go back to a home I've never known." Back in the officers' quarters, the first thing I saw was our wedding photo on the wall. We grew up together in the orphanage. When I was 18, the director, eager to be rid of me, tried to marry me off to a difficult middle-aged non-commissioned officer. It was Ethan who grabbed my hand and led me over the high wall behind the yard. He used his enlistment bonus to rent the cheapest basement apartment in the city. "Once I finish basic training and get promoted, you can be with me as my dependent," he promised. Later, he joined Special Forces and I transferred to intelligence. We moved from a basement to barracks, then to a house, and eventually into this villa. The stars on Ethan's shoulder grew brighter, and the people around him gradually changed. Until that day when I found a lipstick smudge inside his collar. A girl fell at the party. I helped her up. It was just an accident. He roared, tearing off his tie. "Scarlett, you are a soldier too. Don't act so suspicious." Arguments became our new language. I tracked his missions, his call logs, even sneaking to the edge of the training ground when he claimed to be working late. To spite me, Ethan just gave up trying. He was constantly with other women, sometimes deliberately coming home with signs, just to watch me break. I was like a lost soul, knowing I should leave, but unable to let go of a bond that had seeped into my very being. But a year ago, he changed. He ended all his fleeting flings, keeping only one. The moment I saw Chloe's photo, I completely fell apart. That face was exactly like mine when I was 18, Debbie innocent, clear-eyed, untouched by the world. Ethan preferred to love a phantom of my past self rather than the woman I had become, hardened by him, just to survive. That night, emotionally shattered, I did something to hurt myself. Ethan broke down the door, his hands shaking so much he couldn't even perform basic first aid. He scooped me up and rushed me to the emergency room, his eyes bloodshot. "Scarlett, are you crazy? We'll change. I promise. It'll just be us, no one else ever." Lying in the hospital bed, I felt an overwhelming weariness. It was also that day that an officer from the Judge Advocate General's Corps found me, handing me a faded file. "Colonel Reed, the department re-examined the casualty list from an early border conflict. These two officers are your birth parents." I walked to the hospital room window. Down in the garden, Ethan was holding Chloe. "I am sorry, Chloe. She is not stable right now. I can't leave her. Trust me. Once she is settled, I'll give us the clarity we deserve." They kissed like star-crossed lovers. In that moment, the connection that had bound us finally snapped. The emptiness in my chest was so vast I couldn't even make a sound. On the 7th day of my hospital stay, I finally faced the truth. I had to let go of the self that clung to Ethan Coleman for the real me to live. For an entire week, Ethan didn't come home. I didn't ask. I submitted my divorce petition and transfer request through official channels and started packing. I decided to return the key to our first apartment to the base housing office 7 Twinsedoff, that small temporary place we'd kept for years as a storage unit. When the housing manager and I arrived, the door was slightly ajar. I heard a woman's soft laugh